Morning, folks. I came out here to do a quick video. I've been having a lot of folks asking me about using once fired hulls. You know, a lot of times the once fired hull. I got all these from Mr. Mr. Bill Calawas. Look, a lot of times the tops are frayed. The memory isn't very good. You know, they might have laden water and everything. And they're hard to get. They don't make pretty crimps. And yeah, I know that. But what I do nowadays is these have already been deprimed and resized and reprimed. But what I do is just like I do with a brand new hull. You know, the tops of these are real bad for getting frayed up, chewed up right on the outside edge. They have a bunch of little nipples and all sticking up. I just take a pair of scissors, guys, just like I do any other round. Brand new hull. I cut it right off. Now, you can't fold crimp it when you do that. So here where part 2 of this comes in. A lot of guys ask me why a lot of guys use Gype roll crimp tools, and I've got them all. I got several of them laying here somewhere. Got a whole box of them, actually. I don't know where they're at, but they're here, trust me, in my junk pile, but they're here. I do use them sometimes, but I don't use them like I do this 4-pin roll crimp tool from the Reloaders Network. That thing will roll crimp anything. A previous fold crimp, I have never been able to get the Gype to roll crimp it, guys. It doesn't happen for me. So I just use the 4-pin because it does an excellent job. But now that we've trimmed off that rough edge all the way around, I'm going to show you my gun's favorite load. I love the LBC 50. I love the TPS. I love the MG42. My best performing round out of my TriStar Viper Max is with this Ranger Elite wad and 30 cal pellets with 27.5 grains of long shot. You cut it off, see it's a little round. Sometimes you got to work it a little bit to get it in there because Remingtons are some thick hulls. Once you get it in there, though, she drops right on. Now, Mr. Gary Caskey's tool here. Drop it right down in there, folks. These are made like a 2 3/4 inch version of the Ranger Elite. Most time, I don't even do this, but I'm going to this time. I'm going to drop a 1/8 inch felt wad right down into the bottom of this thing. These wads are so thick and beefy, I don't really believe, I've never had a problem yet with them wanting to kick them out. 18 pellets of 30 cal powder coated is what I shoot in here. They'll fit in there by twos perfectly. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. What I told you, they drop in there by twos perfectly. You don't even have to even be looking to guide them. They just fall right in there. All right. Cover them up with buffer powder. What are we gonna use now? We got some green shell. Let's see some green bingo chips. I use 2 of them just because a single one has a bad tendency of cracking, and I don't like that. Now, once again, that hole's a little stiff, so sometimes you need a little guiding, and then you ain't supposed to break them like I just did by jamming them down in there, but it only broke the top one, so doesn't matter. Put a little oil around it. You have a 3-inch 18 pellet with a once fired Remington hull. Come out just fine. We'll do it again this time without breaking the bingo chip. Once again, take your scissors, cut off that top frayed stuff. Then you have good, clean, look like new plastic. You can open these up with your fingers a little bit and make it easier to put that wad in there. 27.5 grains of long shot. Ranger Elite wad. Yeah, so you open the mouth up a little bit, it went in there easy then. Drop it right down in there. 1/8 inch felt wad. Doesn't have to be felt, be cork, whatever you want to drop down in there. Set it right down in there. 18 pellets once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. They go in there perfectly by twos. They just find their way. You don't even have to do much, folks. Just basically drop them in there. I haven't tried this with the LBC 50 yet, but I know the pattern. I already know what the pattern's throwing with this gun, with this wad combination so well that I haven't even really had a reason to try anything else out. Use a lead load off. They got them down in there good. These holes are a little dirty, so I just rub a little oil on them. That little black ring that's going around the top of them where they've been fired before, most time you can't get that off, but if you really had to, you could take a triple-awed SOS pad, Brillo pad, and get it right off if it really bothers you any. It doesn't bother me none. So you can still see that little black ring, but it ain't nothing. But the roll crimp itself is perfect. Try doing that with a guipe. We'll do another one. We're just going to trim it off. Scissor width, basically. Like I said, you can open it up some. There it is. 27.5 long shot. Ranger Elite wad. Get it started. Send her on home. Eighth inch felt wad. Down at the bottom. 18 pellets once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. 18 pellets by twos once again. Two bingo chips, or you can just use one of the regular overshot cards, segmented overshot cards. You get it blistered products. You can use, add anything you want to really put in there. You want to know the truth. You put a paper one in there. Seat it down in there a little. Oil rag once again. Like I said, these are dirty holes. They've been sitting around my shop here for a couple of years. When I get them from Mr. Calawas, I usually like to order 1,000 or 2,000 at a time. And then I'm ordering them when I don't need them, and I still have them. There it is again, folks. That's one of Mr. Calawas's roll crimped 3-inch round. Now, did it affect the length any? This is a full crimp 3-inch. They're the same size, guys. They're the exact same size. Didn't hurt anything roll crimping that round. Let's see, here's another 3-inch. Same size. The hull itself is 3 inches. The round, you can trim it off, especially when you roll crimp, as long as you got room for it. You still end up with a 3-inch round, guys, trimming that little 1/8 inch off like I do. And like I said, you got, excuse my buffer pattern on her. But as you can see, it does an absolute perfect job on roll crimping that. This round shoots so good in my gun, I'll show you. This round shoots consistently at 40 yards, about a 12-inch pattern out of my TriStar Viper Max. A lot of times I shoot 3.5s, just depends on where I'm at. But the majority of the time, this is what I shoot in my gun, folks. So I just opened it up a little bit with my hand after I trimmed it off. 27.5 a long shot again. Ranger Elite Wad. Once you get it started, send it straight on in. And Ranger Elites, like I said, are coming like a 2 3/4 inch version. 1/8 inch, 20 gauge felt wad in the bottom. You can use cork, like I said, you can use about anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and there's 18. See how pretty they stack in there by 2, folks? They just go in there absolutely perfectly. 31 cal does the same. I was getting ready to tell you, the big problem with the Ranger Elite is I can't get nothing above 31 cal single aught in it. But the 18 pellet 30 cal does so good, I just don't worry about it at this point. Once again, just throw a little oil around the top. And you roll crimper home, guys. Get my oil off of there. There's another perfect 3-inch 18 pellet. So these old hulls, guys, just deprime them, resize them. Don't worry about how frayed up it is. If you have a roll crimp tool, and it needs to be the 4-pin. I remember when them things first came out, and Leon Guthrie over at Buck and Slugs, he didn't tell no story when he said, these are a game changer. And I've been using one ever since. And I probably have all roll crimp tools. I even got the old Lymans and stuff, guys. That's an oldie. Lyman 12 gauge crimp. That's what it says on it. I got the ballistic product ones. That's the double pin. That's the ballistic product single pin. I've got them all laying around here somewhere. And they all get the job done, but they don't do it on these previous full crimp holes. This 4-pin from the Reloaders Network absolutely does. Mr. Gary Caskey's little handle, boy, this thing comes in handy. I'll show you another thing I use it for as soon as I do this one. All right, 18 pellet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. 18 pellets once again. It's raining out today, folks. Well, we might have a break in the rain here shortly. I think they said like 2 o'clock. I'll take you out. I'll take you out here and I'll show you what this load does. It shoots so good, it's hard for me to even really... My gun also loves double aught in the LBC 50 wad. But this one right here is consistent always. Two bingo chips. I just use a Lee Load-All wad guide just to tap them down in there a little bit, folks. That's all it's doing. Just seating it all the way down on top of the buffer and the stuff. You don't have to oil every one of them. I'm just doing it for demonstration so y'all know to oil these, because if you don't, it'll scorch the hull. Not to mention, when you oil them, it just makes it go a lot smoother. There we go again. I got buffer powder everywhere. All right, a lot of guys are buying this Lee Load-All too because it's the economical way to get into reloading. There's one downfall when it comes to resizing this high brass with a Lee Load-All tube. And I'll show you it right here. First stage, you push the size ring all the way down on the brass. You want it to go all the way down and flush. That's resizing your brass back to specs where you can shoot it again with anybody's gun. Next, you want to knock the sizing ring off. Well, here's where the problem comes in. The sizing ring doesn't come all the way off. So, once again, I was telling you about Mr. Caskey's little tool. I stick it right up inside the hull. Done deal. It's as easy as pie from there, folks. I use my mech right there to... Most of the time I use my mech, but I use the Lee Load-All to show folks how to use it, just because it's the quickest way to do it. It's been deprimed, resized, reprimed. Then I would do the same thing. Once again, I'd trim it off an 1/8 inch. 27.5 a long shot. Make sure my mouth is open. It just makes it easier. Tell you what I'm going to do with this one. Here's an LBC 50. I said I hadn't tried this load with an LBC 50. Look there, folks. Dropped in there easy as pie. But is it going to shoot good? In the standard 3-inch Fiocchis with the LBC 50, it does not do as good with 30 cals. But the funny thing is, 30 cals in this wad, now that is with the Ranger Elite, shoots great. The LBC 50 gives you just a little more room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 pellets went in there perfectly, folks. Just like it does with the Ranger Elite. The LBC 50, though, I can load all the way up to 32 cal in it. Basically double aught. Now, this one's different than the other, so I want it to stick out. So, to make it look different, we'll just throw 2 red bingo chips in it. Green and red. Sound like a good color combination, don't it? Yeah, not. I never said I was real good at all this other stuff. 2 red bingo chips. This is going to be loaded 18 pellets, 30 cal, and LBC 50. We're going to test this out in a little bit here. Now I'm knowing I'm going to have to go shoot because I got to know what this is going to do. See how pretty of a roll crimp that thing does? I mean, it's just as smooth as if it was a brand new hull. 3-inch. You know what? We got to load 2 of them that way, just so we know. If you get a good pattern, you want to confirm it. Cut it off again, scissors wheel. Do I have another LBC 50? Yep, there's one right there. That's a half cut. That is a no-no. I have made that mistake in the past. Half cut LBC 50s. In my experience, it'll shoot it like a slug. The bottom pellets that are still inside that half cut, it just shoots them out there like a slug. 27.5 a long shot. And I've noticed one thing, so the powder charge may change on this if it does shoot good. LBC 50 tends to be slower, speed-wise, with the lower charges than compared to other wads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Just so you can see it, folks. I don't know if you can see it, but 18 pellets. Now, whether or not it's going to make a difference, I noticed right there, that's only one stack, about a half a stack above the wad. It's a row and a half with the Ranger Elite above the wad. But the Ranger Elite shoots so good, I wouldn't care if half the load was sticking out the wad. So, as once again, I don't know how well you can see it, but it's an absolute perfect roll crimp in a once fired Remington hull. You gotta excuse my crappy camera work because it's not what I do. I just try to show folks what I do loading up. They all came out fine. Got a little oil on them. But there they are. Same load ups. This is LBC 50 and this is a Ranger Elite. Let me see here, folks. So yeah, them old hulls that you're having problems with the mouth all chewed up and everything, trim them off, guys. Trim them right off and load them. You still have room to load them. I hope that helps some of the guys who are asking what you can do with ones that... And even when the crimp is ugly, when you're talking about that on your load, your mechs and all, because of the old memory. And look at this one chewed up, folks. Now, how well do you think that's going to fold, crimp? It might do a little better if you get it back in the... But see, the ends of it so chewed up. It's got little frays sticking up everywhere. But you can trim that off and just use... That one right there has probably been loaded 5-6 times. It's been shot in this TriStar before because I see the extractor mark on it. Doesn't matter. Oh, my brother Wade said it got to be pretty chewed up, man, for we don't use them no more. We're going to get everything we can get out of one of them. I'm going to try today also. I loaded these last night. 3.5 inch. 35 grains of blue dot. 24 pellets of 29 cal LBC 50 wad. Roll crimped. We're going to try that joker out today too. Because I usually load this load in the TPS wad. Straight up TPS. But I'm going to try it today in the LBC 52. I hope that helped somebody. Y'all have a great day because I'm fixing to get ready to go to work. Have a good one. Later.